Okay, you may have seen this from Stripe in terms of content creation platforms will no longer be accepted as part of their business restrictions. So this is found on stripe.com/legal/restricted businesses. So this has been updated recently as of June of 2024. So if you scroll down, or if you can do Control F and look for digital, it would show you that the content creation platforms, including selling exclusive content or digital goods. So that has been scaring a lot of people that are content creators. It's just like, okay, like I have been using Stripe for a lot of different things. Is that going to affect me and stuff like that? So ever since they have sent this out, there has been a lot of fear in the coaching service provider online space industry. So I wanted to kind of share some of my thoughts, and I have a lot of different tabs here because I want to kind of tell you a little bit of insights. My background is in computer science. I've worked with different online projects and launching and scaling them, including like places like MoneyGram and places like that. So my insights come from that perspective, and also the fact that what I'm seeing for alternatives. So I'll provide you with some alternatives, and also what I'm seeing for in terms of just like some hearsay with Stripe in terms of what they might be thinking about, why they're doing these rules to prevent what they think will happen in the future, and what is happening in the industry right now with the rise of AI and the shifting digital space and stuff like that, so that you can take a look at these for yourself, for your business, and make decisions that is most relevant for you. Okay, so that is what I want to do here, is really share some insights, and then have you as the CEO of your business decide if you should continue to use Stripe or use the alternatives that I'm sharing with you here. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. Again, like this is in terms of Stripe is going to be this prohibiting and disqualifying these types of content creation. So they have since added some additional insights, the FAQ for here, because it seems like people have been reaching out to them, right? Like this has just happened a few days ago, and what they have said since then. Let me go ahead and let's see here. Hopefully you can see this okay. I was going to zoom in for my eyes here. And so what they are saying is the fact that, like this has to be pre-approved, meaning that if you already are using other platforms, right? So for example, right now I have Kartra, I'm part of ThriveCart, I'm going to show you Kajabi, Teachable, all of these different platforms that already does work with Stripe. Like they already have a handshake agreement that, hey, like you're responsible for all of these transactions behind the scenes, and they have that working contractual agreement behind the scenes, right? So that is something that is going to be pre-approved. So if you're using those things, you should be okay, at least for now, right? Like those are the things that if you're using Stripe and you're using pre-approved platforms, you should be okay, right? Like again, like if you want to use a different platform, and Stripe has that information right here in the contact us section. Again, this is in the FAQ from their prohibited list. So there's a few other FAQs here, right? So in terms of operating the platform, in terms of like, okay, so whose product is it, right? Like if you're responsible to distribute your own content, right, on your website and be compensated for it, if it is your own, that is really what they're trying to go for here. So I believe, and again, like this is my perspective, right, is that they're trying to prevent people from having these MRR products, which is master reseller rights. And with the speed of AI, with the speed of creating more types of similar offers, and with Canva and all of these different tools that allow us to create these similar products that we may not own the rights to, I believe that this is the reason why they're saying that. This is enabling creators to distribute their own content, right? So that is something that I believe that, like you don't need to get pre-approved. They're trying to prevent people that are scraping other people's content and then calling it as content service. hopefully that helps, and hopefully that makes sense. It's really about like, if it is not your own and you're selling someone else's content, Stripe may not allow that, right? So again, like that is something that you need to clarify if Stripe comes to you to prove that the copyright is yours and yours alone, that you're not allowing other people to potentially sell it also. So that is the other thing there too, right? Because you are allowing people, if you're allowing people to distribute your content in their platform, they might not be able to use Stripe on their stuff, right? Because it has to be on your own website with your own content. So if you are selling MRR, that might also affect people that is selling it on your behalf, or PLR, which is private label rights. So those are the kinds of stuff there. And so let me go down on the next one. I wish they would have bolded these, because now it's just like, okay, this is the next question that they have here. So if you're an individual who creates content and receives compensation from your own customers, again, like these are pretty much saying you have to own it, right? So if you are selling directly to your own stuff, again, like they have the service agreements here. It's just a matter of, again, like they don't want you to necessarily just sell other people's stuff and then copying other people's things, because then it becomes harder to try to figure out the quality and the validity of the different contents. So again, making sure that you are getting clear in terms of what type of content you are personally creating, and then having that copyright that you're not sharing that with other people, right? So there's that one. The other reason that I believe that they are not going to necessarily disqualify every content creator, besides the fact that Stripe works with big businesses, right? Like they work with Teachable, they work with all of these places that do businesses with them. They're not going to just all of a sudden get rid of content creators, because that's a lot of their money and income and revenue. So they're not going to disqualify content creators, at least again for right now. Again, like if you're doing like subscriptions and stuff like that, that with content that's not yours, and maybe that's just the sole purpose of your business. Again, like let's talk about some alternatives here. But one of the reasons that I don't believe that they're going to continue to really decline this, at least for right now, right, is because of this creator economy. Again, this is something that they are trying out in the US right now. So I believe that if this is successful for them, then they'll get it out there for the rest of the world. If not, maybe they will disqualify this creator economy thing and just kind of make sure that, like you're taking a look at and diversifying the way that you do business, right? So the one thing is the fact that, like they are helping you to really partner up with other companies. Like these are big companies, right? Like there are millions and billions of dollars that is flowing into this creator economy. So why would they prohibit creators if they have this creator economy that they are doing, right? So that's the other thing too. You can take a look at Stripe use cases for the economy, right? So this is all for creators, right? Like online conversation, concert creators. So this is something that they are doing. They even, like have specific platforms to get people to tip content creators and subscriptions and all that stuff. So again, these are using pre-qualified service providers like Substack, right? So again, like they have specific partners that you can leverage for your business to make sure that you're not breaking any rules. And if you're doing your own website, just making sure that you have the copyright. And if you have to reach out to them to kind of fight against the fact that, hey, this is really my stuff, you'll have to reach out to their contact people. So let's talk a little bit about the alternatives, right? So, and then at the end, I'll give you a couple extra bonus insights that to consider to protect yourself. Again, we were talking about diversifying, so I want to just share with you that at the end. But in terms of alternatives, again, like these are some things. There's plenty out there. If you are a content provider and you are doing like courses and stuff like that, I believe that the world is shifting to have these companies to have their own payment processors, right? Teachable now has Teachable Pay, and so they're including that as part of their whole business suite. Kajabi is also doing the same. Wix is also doing the same for online payment, right? Like they are creating a department inside of their business so that they can internalize that. Because if you think about it, Stripe takes like 2.9% plus 30 cents. If Teachable can take that 2.9% and keep it in their pockets, and Kajabi do the same, and Wix does the same, that's a lot of extra money that each of these companies are pocketing and not giving to Stripe. So I believe that that's the mindset that these companies are doing. So in the future, you may not need Stripe. So Stripe is kind of, my opinion, is kind of like firing themselves by having these prohibited lists. They are being the case study for each of these companies to model after in terms of how to prohibit certain things. So Stripe is giving these different companies some insights in terms of how to create their rules and regulations in terms of how to take content creators payments and stuff like that. So that, again, my take on it. If you are not necessarily in these kinds of product suites and offerings, here's a few other alternatives for you. Okay, so this one right here, Wise, is something I hear about. I have not personally used this. But I hear that this is something that you can use for transferring money internationally with the least amount of fees and stuff like that. Again, like I've personally worked on projects for MoneyGram, so I know it's similar to that. It looks like to me, right? Like there's going to be some things that where you can have some fraud protections and stuff like that. So if it's similar to that, it just really applies to how much money you're sending each month, whether you're sending it as part of your business, as part of family and friends and stuff like that. Similar to PayPal also, if you haven't used MoneyGram before, but PayPal is similar to that. So Wise has just become more well-known. I feel like they just have had better marketing team or something like that. So that is something that you can take a look at. The other thing, again, is Wave, right? Like this, I hear, has some, I believe they have a free version. So this one right here is good in terms of sending out invoices. So if you're invoicing different clients and stuff like that, this might be a good alternative for you to take a look at. And it also has, like the receipts for you. So when you invoice, now you can take a look at your accounting also with it. So that's another alternative. If you're looking at a different tool that might be a free to start with, I hear Payhip is another alternative for you to consider, right? So if you're doing digital downloads, online courses, stuff like that, when I was looking at this, it felt still a little bit stiff in terms of the features. There's not a lot of features for it yet. And the user interactions, the experience is also a little bit lacking in my opinion. But if you're just looking for something for free that allows you to do all of these, and again, as a Stripe alternative, this might be a good one to look at. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is the fact that, like if you were looking for alternatives, it's really about diversifying, right? Because again, like Stripe right now has this content economy creator, right? But in the future, they might take this away, and then again, like they might change. They have the capability to change this rule at any point in time in terms of tweaking it. They just added this in June, which sent people in a chaos. So it's really about diversifying the way that you take payments into your business and having those backup plans and having like plan B, and not thinking that it might affect you. The reason that we have insurance, life insurance, business insurance, health insurance, car insurance, is because we never know what might happen in the future. We never know when Stripe or any other tools could take away certain features. We never know when they might, go down or get hacked or any of these things. And that reflects on us as business owners. And we never want to have that perspective from our clients, right? So the best thing that I want to leave you with as a bonus tip is the fact that all of these different types of alternatives that I shared with you, don't just pick one, right? Like don't put your eggs in one basket. I personally have had Stripe and PayPal because, again, like I believe PayPal is something that works well when someone needs a bank account information. Stripe does not allow that. When international clients want to buy something from me, PayPal works better. So having at least one other alternative is super helpful. And the fact that sometimes people say, well, PayPal is quote unquote bad, right? In terms of just like they will shut you down at any point in time. That can happen for anything, right? Like Stripe, I hear horror stories in different Facebook groups and conversations about the fact that Stripe can do that too. It's just a matter of we're using third-party tools that we don't necessarily have full control over, and that's just part of doing business. That's why we want to make sure that you are not putting your eggs in one basket, and make sure that you're diversifying it so that you can protect yourself and better serve your clients, and make sure that you are leveraging all of these alternatives that make the most sense for your business. Now, if you need more help in terms of trying to make sure that it is intentional and strategic for getting the systems, the right systems to get you more sales, that is easy and simple for you, let me know. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. Reach out to me. I'm at Passion Breakthrough at pretty much all the social media. Just type the word system and let's have a conversation in the DM or send me an email and let's make it happen. Let's make sure you're creating a sustainable business. And hopefully this was helpful, and we will see you at the next one. Talk to you.